You let them die, let them go. I'm breaking the chains. You wanted my help, but you can't stand the pain. Tough love's a lesson, but you call it disrespect. I'm done with your games, man, I'm taking my respect. It ain't my job to save you, you gotta learn your lane. So walk on by and let them learn the hard way. I'm not feeling guilty, I'm winning today. You had your chances, but now you're out of time. I'm rising above while you pay for your crime. You need me, but I'm just a mirror reflecting the truth, but your vision ain't clear. You say you don't need me, but you know that I'm right. While I'm paving my path, I'm focused on my light. Let them burn, watch them fall, this is their fight. So walk on by and let them learn the hard way. I'm not feeling guilty, I'm winning today. You had your chances, but now you're out of time. I'm rising above while you pay for your crime. You let them burn, watch them fall, this is their fight. So walk on by and let them learn the hard way. I'm not feeling guilty, I'm winning today. You had your chances, but now you're out of time. I'm rising above while you pay for your crime. It's my season to shine. No more looking back, I built my own throne, now I'm on the right track. It's my season to shine. No more looking back, I built my own throne, now I'm on the right track. So walk on by, let them learn the hard way. I'm not feeling guilty, I'm winning today. You had your chances, but now you're out of time. I'm rising above while you pay for your crime. It's my season to shine. No more looking back, no more looking back. I built my own the right track. It's my season to shine. No more looking back, no more looking back, no more looking back. I'm on the right track. It's my season to shine.
Let's get it.
Tech coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well today. It is Saturday, November. We are in November already. November 2nd, 2024. Next month is December. Next month is December, and then it is 2025. I want to say a special good morning to my good and dear friend and brother, Yakar. Shout out to Yakar out there in the ATL, walking around in the bubble wrap. You gotta stay safe out there, Yakar. You gotta stay safe. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Also, I know he's not in the chat yet, but I'm sure he's watching already, waiting for me to mention his name. Good morning to you, Mitch. Mitch and Yakar are the co-host of the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. And that's what we are doing this morning. So we're going to be reviewing the weekly economic numbers. We have a lot of numbers to review today, so we are not going to waste much time. We want to get to it because I got a lot of things to do today, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather as well. So we got to get to it. All right. So we got my guy in the building Yakar says, you East Coast people have it so easy when it comes to keeping time around the nation. ATL shouted. Hey. What can I say, Yakar? What can I say? When we give the times, we only care about the East Coast, and then we let all the other time zones figure it out. Figure it out. All right. And Yakar says, shout out to Tech Coach Rob. That is me. We don't miss field. Thank you. I appreciate it, Yakar. I'm getting better. I started feeling a little sick Thursday afternoonish. Yesterday I wasn't feeling the best, but I'm feeling a little bit better today. I got me some ginger tea right here. I got my ginger tea. So thank you so much, Yakar.
I appreciate you.
Yakar said techniques in the building. I'm not sure what the techniques are, if you want to clarify a little bit, but shout out to the techniques. We accept everybody over here. I don't know what the techniques are. Or is it the Nickies? Let me know what it is, Yakar. Let me know what it is. But I accept everyone. I like everyone, Yakar. I like everyone. All right. So let's get started because we have a lot of work to do today. Do me a favor though. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachrap.dev, exclusive content over there. The sprint review for it to release this Monday, and then I'm going to create another video probably for next week about working on projects. So a lot of things coming, and then in November going to be updating live my resume. I always like to do it 2 to 3 times a year, and then you can ask me questions. So Yakar says I'm saying it right. Techniques. I like it. I don't really understand it, but I like it. I like everything. I am willing to try everything, even new music. Although. Not everybody is willing to try new music. I try. All right, let's jump into our first one, and then we'll keep it moving because we have a lot of things to review. So let's get into the numbers that we're going to be reviewing today, and then we'll interact with the chat like we always do. We have about an hour and 20 minutes more or less, so probably more, but about an hour and 20 minutes. So let's get to it. All right, so the numbers that we're going to be watching for this week, let me see if I can expand this just a little bit. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. So the numbers to watch this week. So we reviewed this on Monday morning. It says America's labor market will be back in play this week when the Labor Department releases key data for the month of October. Economists are forecasting that growth in new non-farm payroll slowed sharply to 110,000. Keep this in mind. Economists are forecasting, so this was on Monday, that the growth in new non-farm payroll slowed sharply to 110,000 after 254,000 in September. The blowout report, which came in far above expectations, suggests that the market retained some heat. It also followed the first interest rate cut in 4 years by the Federal Reserve, and as a result, scrambled bets on the future pace of reductions. The Fed's next meet to set rates is November 6th and 7th, a day after the election. All right. So What we're going to be reviewing today, on Tuesday, October 29th, Bureau of Labor Statistics released the JOLTS report, Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey for September, which measures job vacancies across industries. We have the Conference Board releasing the monthly Consumer Confidence Survey, which measures how optimistic Americans are about the economy. Wednesday, we had the Bureau of Economic Analysis release the preliminary gross domestic product, the GDP reading for the third quarter. And then Thursday, October 31st, we had our usual initial jobless claims for the previous week. The proxy for layoffs tracks the number of people filing for unemployment. And then we also have the U.S. Department of Commerce releasing the September's Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, the Fed's preferred inflation measure. The report measures the change in price of goods and services, excluding food and energy, which that's what people care about the most is food and energy. So, it's weird that they exclude it. And then Friday, November 1st, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released the October jobs report. The monthly release tracks the unemployment rate and how many jobs were added to the economy. And lastly, the Institute of Supply Management released its monthly survey of purchasing managers measuring activity in the manufacturing sector. It's an indicator of economic health. All right, so that's all the stuff that we have to go through today. All right, cool. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will jump into to researching and understanding. All right, so your car says you're saying it right. It says you don't like. I don't turn anything away. I just be like, hey, if that's what you like, I'm not gonna go against it. I support you. We got my guy Darcel in the building. Good morning, Darcel, the coach we need. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing today?
I appreciate you.
Your car says Diddy did hang around in Florida. He has a home down here and everything. But I did notice all of Diddy's friends are on stage, on TV, giving endorsements. I don't know what's going on. All of his people are giving endorsements left and right. I don't know, your car. But yeah, so let's get into this. And remember what I always tell you guys. Who they put in front, and Mitch tells you this too. Who they put in front of you is what they think of you. Remember that. Who they think of you is what they think of you, right? So keep that in mind. So, and as we go through this, right? As we go through this, we will see some things, right? Your car says you're not a yes man, so don't believe him, family. As soon as you start running in the Victim Olympics, he will not like you. That is true. That is true. But I'm not a yes man. But I'm a goodbye man. I'm like, okay. Like your car says, as soon as you start running the Victim Olympics, I'm like, okay, cool, goodbye. Have a nice life. I mean, I'm like, go figure it out. Go figure it out on your own.
Bruh.
That's as your car says.
Do not come.
He's right about that. He is right about that. I will not say that is not true. That is true. We don't listen to paid liars and stupid celebrity. Maybe they're doing it for a reason. Your car, maybe it's for a reason. You never know. It might be for a valid reason. I mean, not a valid reason, but you know what I mean. All right, let's get into this. All right, so let me close that. So we already reviewed this. So the first thing we have up on our list is the Bureau of Labor Statistics with the JOLTS report. So guess what we have? We have our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. Let me just refresh this real quick so that we can get a fresh. All right. We're going to look for jobs and we do a search and we say, oh, look at that. We have job openings and labor turnover survey. Let's click on that one. Let's see what it means. All right. So we still have to work on this with the styling and the colors and all that good stuff, but we have our information, the most important part. All right. So let's see. It says the JOLTS or the Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey, or JOLTS, is a report that gives us information about jobs in the United States. It is like a big checkup to see how the job market is doing. This survey is done by the government. All right, we know how that goes. when the reports are done by the government, they're like, well, you know, we thought it was this, but it was actually that. All right. So you got to be careful when you get these reports, because at any given moment, they're like, oh, well, we just revised it downward by a million jobs. Like, what? You know, I mean, it's the preferred survey or report, but how do you make decisions on stuff that are always being revised, right? Anyways, I digress, right? Jolts looks at three main things. Job openings. This is how many jobs are available. It's like counting how many help wanted signs you see. When there are a lot of job openings, it means companies need more workers. Hires. This is how many people got hired for jobs. It's like counting how many people started new jobs last month. Separations. This is how many people left their jobs. It can happen in three ways. People who quit. I said, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going out on my own. I don't have to be here. Layoffs and discharges, when the company says that they don't want you anymore, they don't need you, they can't afford to pay you, and other separations. People who left for reasons like retirement and stuff like that. All right. So that is what the JOLTS looks for to make its report. So why is the JOLTS report actually important? So it helps us understand the job market better. Here's why it's important. So with the job openings, if there's a lot of job openings, it means that companies are growing and needs more workers. This is usually a good sign for the economy. When they're hiring, it's a good sign. The unemployment rate would be going down. Hires. If many people are getting hired, it means there are a lot of opportunity for work. Separations. If a lot of people are quitting, it means they are finding better jobs elsewhere. If there are a lot of layoffs, it means companies are having trouble, right? So, you see how that goes, right? So, what it all means. High job openings plus high hires. The job market is strong. Companies are hiring a lot of people. High job openings and low hires. Companies want to hire, but they can't find the right people. I mean, there might be a bunch of graduates that are trying to get with no experience, no projects, trying to get into these jobs, and companies like, I'm not gonna spend all that money on you. You know how it goes, right? High quits. People are confident they can't find new or better jobs. High layoffs. There might be a problem in the economy or specific industries. So in summary, the JOLTS report is like a big job market health check. It tells us how many jobs are available, how many people are getting hired, and how many people are leaving their jobs. This helps everyone understand how the job market and economy are doing. So let's take a quick example of, let's say you're a software engineer. How could the JOLTS report, what could the JOLTS report mean to you, all right? So imagine you're part of a DevOps team. Shout out to DevOps out there. We're going to be doing that tomorrow actually we'll probably continue with, it is DevOps. We'll probably continue with our Firebase work. Imagine you're part of a DevOps team managing software releases. Your job is to keep track of how many job openings exist in your system, how many bugs are being fixed, hires, and how many bugs are reopened, rehires, and how many tickets are closed or resolved, job separations, quits, layoffs, discharges. Job openings. This is like the number of open bugs in your backlog that need attention. A high number of openings could mean the system or job market has a lot of unresolved issues, unfilled positions, possibly due to a shortage of engineers, qualified workers. Hires. This is similar to how many new bugs are being resolved each week. If you see a high number of hires, it's like the engineering team is fixing bugs at a faster pace, meaning companies are successfully bringing in new talent. Quits. This would be like an engineer leaving your team voluntarily. When more engineers quit than usual, it's a sign that people are leaving because they might be unhappy with their role, or perhaps they found better opportunities, similar to employees voluntarily leaving their jobs. Then we have layoffs and discharges. These are like engineers being removed from the project due to performance issues or restructuring. A rise in this could mean companies are reducing staff due to financial constraints or downsizing, all right? So pretty much JOLTS tells you if the job market is healthy or not, keeping track of hires, fires, and people who leave on their own, all right? So with that being said, or job openings, hires, and people who leave a job, whether it's voluntary or involuntary or due to retirement and stuff like that, all right? So let's take a look at our data. Look at that. I could just go straight here and click on this link right here. And of course, we have an issue with the government's website as usual. All right, let's see. Government. Let's see what's going on with this. So, let's see. There is no reason. Let me see. Okay, so The issue is because those because it's the federal government, right? They don't have I wish I could show it to you, but they don't have their certificate that if you only go to just bls.gov, that it's going to let you go through. You have to put in like www.bls.gov, which is unfortunate. But we're here. We are here, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's see. September job openings and hires changed a little. Total separations unchanged. Latest job openings are at 7,443,000. Latest hire rates is 3.5%. Latest total separations is 3.3%. Let's see. We have the report. Where is the actual? I guess it's September 22. I guess it's this one. All right, so there we go. Released Tuesday, October 29th. The number of job openings was a little changed at 7.4 million on the last business day of September. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today, over the month, hires changed little at 5.6, and the total number of separations was unchanged at 5.2. Within separations, quits 3.1 million, and layoffs and discharges 1.8 million, little change. This release includes the estimate of the number and rate of job openings, hires, and separations for the total non-farm sector by industry and by establishment size class. All right, let's see. So this is the same. The job opening rate at 4.5%, little change over the last month. The number of job openings decreased in healthcare and social assistance by 178,000. State and local government, excluding education, negative 79,000. And federal government, negative 28,000, but increased in finance and insurance, 85,000. I mean, it is, I think right now it's, what do they call it when open enrollment? I think it's open enrollment right now for like government healthcare or something like that. So or is it just healthcare in general? But there's open enrollment going on right now. So a bunch of people are like, they probably need a bunch of insurance agents. That's what, like when a lot of the jiu-jitsu people are super, super busy who work in insurance. All right, so hires in September, the number of rate was little change, 5.6 million. All right. Total separations include quits, layoffs, and discharges, and other separations. Quits are generally voluntary unless they ask for your resignation and issued by the employee. Therefore, the quits rates can serve as a measure of a worker's willingness to or ability to leave the job. We read that already. The number of separations in September was unchanged at 5.2 million, but down by 326,000 over the year. All right. Let me see. Anything else? The number of quits. Okay. Was down. Okay. Over the month, the quits rate was little change at 1.9%. Quits decreased in professional and business services at negative 94,000, but increased in state and local government, excluding education, at 22,000 or plus 22,000, and in real estate and rentals and leasing at plus 18,000. In September, the number of layoffs was unchanged. Let's see. Layoffs and discharges increased in durable goods manufacturing. Oh, look at that. Manufacturing. In manufacturing, we've heard a lot about manufacturing lately, but so in durable goods manufacturing, it was plus 46,000. So about 46,000 people got laid off in manufacturing, but decreased in state and local government, excluding education, negative 20,000. All right. The number of other separations changed little at 292,000. Let's see. In September, establishments with 1 to 9 employees showed little or no change in job openings, hires, or quits. Those don't really have that much change. For establishments with 5,000 or more employees, the job openings, hires, or total separations rate showed little or no change. So we have some August 2024 revisions. The number of job openings for August was revised down by 179,000 to 7.9 million. So there are actually less job openings in August than are initially reported. The number of hires was revised up by 118,000 to 5.4 million, and the number of total separations was revised up by 171,000 to 5.2 million. With separations, the number of quits was revised up by 94,000 to 3.2 million, and the number of layoffs and discharges was revised up by 60,000 to 1.7. And there we have it. So that is our JOLTS report, the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. The next time it's going to be released is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. And guess what? We will definitely be here to cover it. All right. All right, so there we have it. So that was our JOLTS report. Let's take a look at the chat real quick. I think your car had some comments to say, but we also have my guy in the building, me, Matify in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing today? Happy as always to have you here. Let's see. Your car says that they don't want to take down the Diddy-nator or go down with. Okay, gotcha. Either way, they don't want to take them down. They don't want to go down with them. The government is the financial Diddy. Ooh. They effed us. They F us over every day, and we just take that. As much as I would love to disagree with you, your car, you are spot on with that one. It's horrible. I don't know why government sites break like that. Oh yeah, I do. They do the bare minimum for these sites. That is a fact. That is a given fact. I mean, it's really a simple configuration to say that when you're setting up your SSL, that it can take the because they have it as *.bls.gov, but you can also just say bls.gov to accept anything. Like that shouldn't be an error that happens. Like you should be able to access the site with a www or without a www. Come on, let's get it together. All right. Me Mazify says he is doing well. It is cold in Detroit. It's almost that time. It is almost that time. So. All right, let's continue on with the show. Do me a favor, though. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content, all right? So what do we have next on our docket? Let's get to it. So we got this one out of the way. Oops. All right, next up, we have the Conference Board releasing its Consumer Confidence Survey, which measures how optimistic Americans are about the economy. So let's go over to our economic dictionary. We're going to let's just search for Consumer Confidence Survey right here at the top. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Your car says, facts. That's so simple. Udemy can teach you that. That is true. Just doing a simple Google search, it'll tell you exactly how to do it, and your car is talking about the SSL certificate. All right. So what is the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Survey? Wow, it's raining outside. Did not expect that to come in. All right. The Consumer Confidence Board's Consumer Confidence Survey is like a big poll to see how confident people feel about the economy. Every month, a group of people across the United States answer questions about how things are going with their lives, financially, and what they expect to happen in the future. They answer questions like, do you think jobs are easy or hard to find? Are they making more or less money than before? Do you think things will get better or worse in the next few months? From their answer, we get two main scores. Present Situation Index. This score tells us how people feel about the economy right now. Expectations Index. This score is based on how people feel about the future economy. These scores help businesses and governments make decisions. For example, if a lot of people say they're worried about the future, businesses might not spend as much money on new projects. The survey acts like a mood check on the economy, helping everyone understand how Americans feel about spending money, finding jobs, and saving for the future. So here's a quick example. Let's do the garbage truck driver. There's been a lot of talk about garbage this past week. So let's do the garbage truck driver example, right? So for a garbage truck driver, the Consumer Confidence Survey can also provide useful insights. Let's say the survey shows that people are feeling less confident about the economy and might start spending less. Here's how the information might matter to a garbage truck driver. Less waste from homes and businesses. When people spend less, they might buy fewer things. Fewer purchases can mean less trash to pick up from homes as people buy less food or fewer packaged goods. Even businesses might create less waste if they're cutting back on supplies. The garbage truck driver might see a slight decrease in the amount of trash on their routes. That means they can probably get home faster as well. Changes in route patterns. If some if some businesses start closing or adjusting hours due to lower spending, the driver's route could change. They might have fewer commercial pickups or need to adjust the route to account for new stop times or different areas needing more attention. Job stability insight. The survey could help the driver's company plan for the future. If confidence is low, the company might decide to delay any big purchases like new trucks and focus on making the current operation efficient. This might reassure the driver that their job is stable, even if the company isn't expanding or making big investments at the moment. So knowing how confident people are about the economy can help a garbage truck driver understand changes in their workload, route, and even the company's plan for the future. So shout out to that. Shout out to the garbage truck drivers, the waste management people. Shout out to all of you guys out there. I'm just saying. We got to give it up for them, right? So let's get to our report from the conference board, all right? So, do I really need to create an account for this? Let's see. I guess not. All right, cool. So, latest press release, consumer confidence rebounded in October as consumers regained faith. They regained faith in the U.S. economy. Aww. What could be the reason for that? Let's find out, right? So consumer confidence index increased in October to 108.7. 108.7.
Are you ready?
Up from 99.2 in September. The present situation index, based on consumer assessment of the current business and labor market condition, increased 14.2 points to 138. Oh my God. What could be causing this crazy increase? The expectations index, based on consumer short-term outlook for income, business, and labor market conditions, increased 6.3 points to 89.1, well above the threshold of 80. That usually signals a recession is ahead. So people are kind of thinking that there might not be a recession ahead, but who knows, right? The cutoff date for the preliminary results was October 23rd, 2024. Consumer confidence recorded the strongest month gain since March of 2021, but still did not break free of the narrow range that has prevailed over the past 2 years, said Dana M. Peterson, chief economist at the Consumer Board. In October's reading, all 5 components of the index improved. Consumers' assessments of current business conditions turned positive. Views of the current availability of jobs rebounded after several months of weakness, potentially reflecting better labor market data. Compared to the last month, consumers were substantially more optimistic about the future business conditions and remained positive about future income. Also, for the first time since July 2023, they showed some cautious optimism about future job availability. October's increase in confidence was broad-based across all age groups and most income groups. In terms of age, confidence rose sharpest for consumers aged 35 to 54. On a 6-month moving average basis, householders under the age of 35 and those earning over 100K remained the most confident. Shout out to those who are under the age of 35 earning over $100,000.
We the best.
Great job. Keep it up, all right? Peterson added the proportion of consumers anticipating a recession over the next 12 months dropped to its lowest level since the question was first asked in July of 2022, as did the percentage of consumers believing the economy is already in a recession. The consumers' assessments of their family's current financial situation were unchanged, but optimism for the next 6 months reached a series high. These measures are not included in calculating the Consumer Confidence Index. Consumers became more upbeat about the stock market, 51.4%, or 51.4% of consumers expected stock market price to increase over the year ahead. The highest reading since the question was first asked in 1987. Only 23.6% expected stock prices to decline. The share, you know who they are, right? The share of consumers expecting higher interest rates over the next 12 months increased to 47.5 after declining for 4 months in a row. So that means that the share of consumers expecting higher interest rates over the next 12 months increased to 47.5 after declining 4 months in a row. The share expecting lower interest rates decreased to 30.3%. The write-in responses showed that consumers welcomed the recent reduction in interest rates, but felt the levels were still too damn high. All right. I added damn, of course, right? Meanwhile, despite further slowing of overall inflation and declines in gas prices, average 12-month inflation expectations rose to 5.3% in October from 5.2% last month. This may reflect continued upward pressure on food and service prices. Still, inflation expectations were well below the peak of 7.9% in March of 2022. Meanwhile, mentions of prices and inflation continue to top write-in responses as topics affecting consumers' view of the economy, but more respondents mentioned slower inflation and lower grocery prices. All right, so on a 6-month moving average, purchasing plans for homes and new cars continued to increase. When asked about plans to buy more durable goods or services over the next 6 months, consumers continue to express a slightly greater preference for purchasing goods. Consumer buying plans for big ticket appliances were mixed, and buying plans for electronics were slightly down. Regarding services, consumers' priorities were little changed, but they were keen to spend a bit more on some discretionary items going forward. Plans to dine out and stay in hotels popped in October. Plans to enjoy entertainment outside of the home, like museums and amusement parks, while still at the bottom of the list, also ticked up. So that's like the last thing on people's mind, but it's a little bit more on their mind though, right? In October, write-in responses about politics, including November's elections, were largely unchanged and below both 2020 and 2016 levels. In October 2016, election was the most mentioned keyword in the write-in response. In October 2020, it was the second behind the vid. Election ranked number 5 in this month's survey, behind references of price, inflation, food, and groceries. How you like them apples, right? So, in 2016, the election was at the top of people's mind. In 2020, the vid was at the top of people's mind, but right behind it was the election. In 2024, keep this in mind, right? In 2024, the election is number 5. People care more about prices, inflation, food, and groceries above the election. Take that for what you want it to mean. Right? All right. So the present situation. Consumer assessment of current business conditions turned positive in October. 21.4% of consumers said business conditions were good, up from 18.6% in September. 16.4% said business conditions were bad, down from 20.5%. Consumers' appraisal of the labor market improved for October. 35.1% of consumers said jobs were plentiful, up from 31.3%. 16.8% of consumers said jobs were hard to get, down from 18.6%. Expectations for 6 months, hence, consumers were most optimistic about business conditions outlook in October. 21% of consumers expected business conditions to improve, up from 19.4%. 13.2% expected business conditions to worsen, down from 17.1%. So this is a big jump, right? This is like a less than a 2-point jump, right? But this is like 4 percentage points jump, right? Just about 4 percentage points. Consumer assessment of the labor market outlook became more optimistic than pessimistic for the first time since July of 2023. 17.8% of consumers expected more jobs to be available, up from 17.1%. 17.1% expected fewer jobs to be available, down from 18.8%. So they actually shifted, right? It actually shifted. So that's a good sign. Let's see. Consumers' assessment of their income prospects were virtually unchanged. 18.9% of consumers expected their income to increase, unchanged from September. 12.8% expect their income to decrease, slightly down from 12.9%. Assessment of family finances and recession risk. Consumers' assessments of their family's current financial situation were essentially unchanged. All right. Let's see. Anything else? That's it. That is it for that one. The next release is going to be November 26th at 10 a.m. All right. So shout out to that. Take those numbers for what they mean. Like I said, what's on the top of people's mind when it comes to the economy is not the election. It is prices, inflation, food, and groceries, and then it comes to the election. All right. So let's check the chat to see how things are going. Let's see how things are going. Let's see. Darcel said it's cold in the D. Sorry, I had no idea that was a song. So apparently that's a song. That was the absolute worst song in history. I think Mitch and your car might disagree. They might say one of my songs are the worst songs in history, you know? So Darcel said he heard it a lot as a kid. I don't think I ever, maybe I heard that song, but I don't remember it. Your car says, take me to your leader. And Mitch says, I'm from, if you really got it, you don't show it. Okay. And your car says, that's like breaking your leg and worrying about the pain instead of going to the doctor. It's true. It's true. All right. So, Mitch, how you doing, Mitch? How are you doing today, Mitch? Welcome to the show, Mitch. Welcome to the show. Yeah, every time Mitch shows up, I just gotta do this. I just gotta do this, right? Let's just.
Yo,
That's all we get. I just have to. Every time I see Mitch, I just have to drop the beat a little bit, right? I just have to drop the beat a little bit. All right. Let's see. All right, do me a favor though, as we continue with the show, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachralph.dev. Tons and tons of amazing content over there. And you can sign up for one-on-one coaching as well if you want to work with me to help you level up, to help you run it up, all right? So, let's see, where are we at now? We are here. We got that one done. Mitch, he's in Atlanta to be specific. He is in Atlanta to be specific. All right. I'm just saying. Because Georgia is one thing. Atlanta is a whole other story.
bruh.
Darcel says tapping his feet to the beat. You know how we get down. You know how we get down over here. Let's see. Says, of course you are. I said Trent. Anyways, all right. So the Bureau of Economic Analysis will release a preliminary gross domestic product reading for the third quarter. All right. So you know where we're going to. We are going to our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. Let's type in gross. And there we go. Gross domestic product. Let's search that one up. So what is gross domestic product, right? What is gross domestic product? So the GDP, gross domestic product, is like a scorecard for the country's economy. It tells us the value of everything. All the goods and services produced within a country in 1 year. So let's break it down. Goods are things you can touch and see, like cars, books, and toys. So this right here, this coffee cup or tea cup in this instance is a mug, or it's a good. It's a good. This phone right here is a good. This remote for the AC is a good, right? So anything that you can see, touch, your car, books, toys, whatever, this hat, this shirt, this microphone, those are goods. Services are activities that people do for others, like teaching, haircuts, and medical checkups, or like making music for my friends. I'm just saying, right? That's a service. It's a service. Things that you do for other people. So, measuring economic health. GDP helps us understand how well a country's economy is doing. When GDP is high, it means people are producing and buying a lot of things. When GDP is low, it means the economy might be in trouble and people might be producing and buying less. Comparing countries. GDP allows us to compare the size and health of different countries' economies. For example, if one country has a higher GDP than another, it generally means it has a stronger economy. Government decisions. What happened to my nursing example? What happened to my tests? Oh my goodness. Wait a second. Oh my God, I have to go back to the other one. All right, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right, so let's see. Comparing countries. GDP allows us to compare the size and health of different countries' economies. For example, if one country has a higher GDP than another, it generally means it has a stronger economy. Government decisions. Governments use GDP to make important decisions. For example, if GDP is growing, they might decide to build more schools and hospitals. If GDP is shrinking, they might look for ways to boost the economy. Business planning. Businesses look at GDP to decide whether to expand or hire more workers or invest in new projects. High GDP usually means good times for businesses, while low GDP can signal tougher times ahead. All right, so for some reason my example disappeared, so I'm gonna add it, and you'll see like the long way that I've been adding it, and that's why we are building out the application. So we're gonna have a bunch of different features on our application. Gross domestic product. And let's say we copy this right here. And if we go to what you see, kind of a process, to be honest with you. I have to go into, all right, I have to go to the database to do it. You know what? I'm just going to read it from here. Because I have to go to the database and all this extra stuff. All right, so let's take a dope house, like by dope I mean a really cool house to understand GDP, right? So if your neighborhood really cool house stands to make 100 dime bags in a year and sell each for $10, the GDP of the dope house is $1,000. Combining, and this dope is like legal in a lot of places nowadays, right? So combining lots of dope houses. Now imagine that there are 10 dope houses in the neighborhood and they all sell the same amount. The total GDP for the dope house would be $10,000. This gives us a bigger picture of the neighborhood's dope house economy. So in summary, the GDP is like a big scorecard that shows how much stuff a country makes in a year. It's important because it helps us understand the health of the economy, compare different countries, and make decisions for the future. So with that being said, let's say you take everything in that's made, like everything that's made, all the services, and you combine how much money they all made, it will give you the GDP of that. All right. So with that being said, let's jump over into the Bureau of Economic Analysis schedule. So we should have, where's the previously released? I guess we'll go to full schedule. And we'll go down to, there we go. Gross domestic product, third quarter, 2024. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you some more. All right. So gross domestic product, third quarter, 2024 advanced estimates. This was released on Wednesday, October 30th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So real gross domestic product, GDP, increased at an annual rate of 2.8% in the third quarter of 2024, according to the advanced estimate released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. In the second quarter, the real GDP increased 3%. The GDP estimate released today is based on source data that are incomplete or subject to further revisions by the source agency. The second estimate for the third quarter, based on more complete source data, will be released November 27th, 2024. Let's see. The increase in real GDP primarily reflects increases in consumer spending, exports, and federal government spending. I'm pretty sure a big part of it is federal government spending right here. Let's see. So if we look back at 2020, Q4 was at 4, 6, 8. 6, and then a little under, maybe around 3 in Q3, and then all the way up here, and then it was in the negative in 2022. Now we're around here. Okay, so the increase in consumer spending reflected increases in both goods and services. Within goods, the leading contributors were other non-durable goods, led by prescription drugs. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of sucks that it would be prescription drugs that are leading the GDP with non-durable goods, and then motor vehicles and parts, Within services, the leading contributors were healthcare, as well as food services and accommodations. The increase in exports primarily reflected an increase in goods led by capital goods, excluding automotive. The increase in federal government spending was led by defense spending, of course, because, we love war, apparently. And if you call out that somebody loves war, then that means you're trying to kill them or something like that. However, whoever puts that logic together.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Right? That makes a lot of sense. So let's see. Imports accelerated. All right. So current GDP increased 4.7% at an annual rate, 333.2 billion in the third quarter to levels of 29.35 trillion. In the second quarter, GDP increased 5.6% or 392.6 billion. The price index for gross domestic purchases increased 1.8% in the third quarter, compared with an increase of 2.4% in the second quarter. The personal consumption expenditure price index, PCE, increased 1.5% compared to the increase of 2.5%, excluding food and energy prices, and the PCE price index increased 2.2% compared with its increase of 2.8%. Personal income. Current dollar personal income increased 221.3 billion in the third quarter, compared with an increase of 315.7 billion in the second quarter. The increase primarily reflected an increase in compensation. So people were making a little bit more money. Disposable personal income increased $166 billion, or 3.1% in the third quarter, compared with an increase of $260.4 billion, or 5% in the second quarter. Real disposable personal income increased 1.6% compared with an increase of 2.4%. Personal saving was 1.04 trillion in the third quarter, compared with 1.13 trillion in the second quarter. So this says that people's personal savings decreased by that would be $100 billion maybe. If it's 1 inch, am I right? Did it decrease by like 100 billion? If it went from 1.13 trillion in the second quarter to 1.04 trillion in the third quarter. The personal savings rate, the personal savings as a percentage of disposable income, was 4.8% in the third quarter compared to 5.2% in the second quarter, right? Source data for the advanced estimate. The GDP estimate released today is based on source data that are incomplete and subject to further revisions by the source agency. Yada, yada, yada. All right. So that is our information about the GDP for the third quarter. Preliminary GDP for the third quarter. Okay. So that is that. And we got Alexis in the building. Good morning. Alexis, how are you doing today?
We the best.
And Alexis is in Mississippi. Good Lord, she's in Mississippi. Well, wish you the best out there and have fun and good luck. I mean, you could be in Atlanta. I'm just kidding. Not really, but I am. But not really, but yeah. Okay. Anyways, how are you doing, Alexis? How are you doing out there? So let's see. Let me see what the chat has to say before we move on. Let's see. So Mitch says to your car, you're going to be really messed up when the time goes back. Ooh, that is true. That's tonight. The time is changing tonight as well. So yeah, you're going to be all over the place. Mitch says, go to the Coke factory. You know, I went there. How old am I now? I had to go there maybe like 30-ish years ago to the Coke factory, next to the aquarium, and also went to Underground Atlanta as well when I was over there. Let's see. Your car says that he adjusts fast. I change time zones a lot. My body hates it for me. Your car's body be like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
That's how your car's body's like, why are you doing this to me? Says, what you think about the Pepsi layoffs? Did you see? I did not see about the Pepsi layoff, but I did hear, I don't know how accurate it is, about there was a Ford Lightning electric truck layoff, that the whole team who worked for the Ford Lightning truck was laid off, and that at least until next year. So I don't know. I heard that happened like just recently. They just came in and said that. Is it true? I haven't independently verified that, but that's what I heard. I didn't hear about the Pepsi. Did I hear about the Pepsi layoff? How long ago did the Pepsi layoff happen? If it was like maybe a week ago or so, then I might have heard about it. If it was like as of yesterday, then I didn't hear about it. What's an ATL? There is a your car. Let them know it's an ATL. It's some live show that your car is attending. You know, it's yeah, no. Your car tried to get me to go. I'm like, yeah, no, not happening, not happening. Darcel says everything is an ATL. That's a fact. That is true. That is true. Everything is in the ATL. That's true. It's true. Mitch says, dang, you old. That's true. That's true. Yesterday, 2 days, I didn't hear about that one. I didn't hear about that. How many people got laid off? You know what? Let's pivot. We're going to look it up real quick. I know we have a lot to do, a little bit of time, but we'll look it up real quick, all right? So let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. But you're terrible. That somebody flew you out. You're so bad. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. If somebody's going to get flown out, I don't know if it's going to be the Mississippi. I don't know if it's going to be the Mississippi. I'm just saying, all right? I don't think it's going to be the Mississippi. The whole plant of Pepsi got laid off in Chicago? No way. No freaking way. So I'm not for that. We know. Oh, goodness. Alexis has a whole family, Mitch. What are you talking about? My goodness. Put some respect, Mitch. Put some respect. All right, Mitch? Come on. All right, let's look this up real quick. Pepsi layoff. Let's see. So, let me see Pepsi layoff Chicago, maybe. And not to mention, Mitch, in addition to this Pepsi layoff, right? In addition to that, Chicago mayor is looking to raise property taxes after he promised that he would not raise property taxes, right? So imagine that. Well, you get what you vote for. All right, so slap in the face, abrupt closure of last Pepsi plant. Abrupt closure of last Pepsi plant in Chicago leaves workers stunned like this. A letter from Pepsi obtained by Chicago Sun says 79 employees were laid off, but a total of 150 people were employed at the facility. They didn't have that many people anyways. Pepsi workers in Chicago are out of a job after the company announced the immediate closure of the only plant left in the city on Monday. All Pepsi employees, including 55-year-old Daryl Smith, were informed of the closure at about 5:45 a.m. Eastern time, around the same time that Teamsters Local 727 received written notice from Pepsi attorneys. Smith noticed a high presence of security on site, but didn't think much of it until he was called back into work at 5:45. As I walked through the door, I asked them what's going on. They are about to shut down the plant, and she put her head down, Smith told USA Today on Monday. They said it's an old plant. It has a lot of work that needs to be done to it, and they weren't going to put any more money into it. And as of today, the plant is shut down. The decision to close the plant was a difficult one, PepsiCo Beverages North America said in the settlement. This is a more than 60-year-old building that has physical limitations. The company said, our top priority is to support our employees during this transition, and our commitment to serve Chicagoland remains strong. Our plans meet the applicable legal requirements and will actively work with union leadership on details related to the closure. Well, that's enough for me. Hey. You vote for what you get. You get what you vote for. You get what you vote for, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the governor, whether it's the Congress people, whether it's the senators, whether it's the president. You get what you vote for. All right, so we're done with this one. All right, let's do a quick look at the jobless claims. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. We had a lot today. My goodness, we had like 7 today. Yep, my goodness, that's a lot. All right. So let's get to this one. Is going to be really quick. Let's get to the U.S. Department of Labor with the jobless claims. So let's go back to our dictionary. Let's search for jobs. Oops. Weekly jobless claims. All right. So the Department of Labor weekly initial jobless claims report is like a count of how many people are asking for help because they lost their jobs and couldn't find work that week. It's like, think about it like a school where every week some kids might get sick and need to stay home. The school keeps track of how many kids are out sick each week to see if the number is going up or down. In the same way, the government counts how many people are asking for help because they lost their job. This report helps us understand how the economy is doing. If more people are asking for help, it means fewer jobs are available, and if fewer people are asking for help, it means that there are more jobs. All right. And a quick example for trucking would be every week the U.S. Department of Labor counts how many people have recently lost their job and applied for government help, like unemployment benefits. These numbers are called jobless claims. It's like keeping track of how many truck drivers, warehouse workers, and others are out of work and need some financial help to get by. All right. So let's jump into this report real quick. All right. So in the week ending of October 26th, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 216,000, a decrease of 12,000 from the previous week's revised levels. The previous week's revised level were revised up by 1,000 to 227,000 from 227,000 to 228,000. Though the 4-week moving average was 236,500, a decrease in 2,250. All right, let's see. The insured unemployment rate was still 1.2. It's been 1.2 forever. So there's not much change there. The previous week, the rate was revised down by 0.1 so it used to be 1.3, I guess, and then went down to 1.2, but I've seen it as 1.2 for a very, very long time. Let's see, anything else in here? Advanced numbers, initial claims under state programs, 200,000. Initial claims for UI benefits filed by former federal civilian employees was 387, a decrease of 38. 378 initial claims filed by newly discharged veterans, a decrease of 28. 3,903 continued weeks claims filed by former federal civilian employees. All right. So now we are the highest insured unemployment rate in the week ending of October 12th. We're in New Jersey at 2.1, California 1.9, Puerto Rico at 1.8, Washington 1.8, Nevada 1.6, Rhode Island 1.6, Illinois 1.4, Massachusetts at 1.4, Michigan 1.4, and New York 1.4. The largest increase in initial claims for the week ending of October 19th was in Florida. Shout out to Florida. 4,501, Kansas at 304, Wisconsin 222, Hawaii 103, Idaho 101, while the largest decreases were in New York, 2,785, North Carolina, 2,270 or negative 2,767, California, negative 2,012, Texas, negative 1,865, and Georgia, negative 1,852. So there we have it. That is the jobless claims for the week. All right. So check the chat real quick, and we're going to jump right into our next one as time is ticking down. Let's see. Mitch says that's cool. No, actually, Mitch says that he doesn't believe Alexis. And like I said, here for JSU homecoming, Jackson State University, where Deion Sanders jumped ship and abandoned them to run to Colorado. Um, you got to be careful. Some of you may think are one thing, but they're actually another. Like Ralph says, stay in the bubble. Which is that's even worse that that she's at for the JSU homecoming. Oh, that was not nice, Mitch. That was not nice. You know, that is uncalled for, unacceptable. Okay. I agree. I agree. Why be that way? That was uncalled for. And I'm here for the game. Are you there for the game or are you there for the band? I have no idea if the band is good or not, but I'm figured it should be. I mean, who goes to homecoming for the game? Anyways, right? Anyways, New Jersey on there again. New Jersey will forever be on there. Mitch says, I have no further comments. Oh, and it says, Ralph is I'm the hater. Weren't you the one who just said that it's even worse that you're there for the homecoming of JSU? I'm the hater. My goodness. Didn't know you liked football. She's an FSU fan, you know? I don't know. I think a lot of times people are more fans of their schools than they are of the actual sport when it comes to college sports, you know? But I could be wrong. I don't really care for college sports or professional sports for that matter. But it is what it is. It is what it is, all right? So, where are we now? Do me a favor though, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. And go to techcoachroute.dev, sign up for one-on-one coaching, sign up for exclusive content. We do different live streams. So much information in there. You just got to check it out. You can sign up for free and then upgrade later on after that. All right. So let's continue on with the show. Let me see what's going on over here. All right, still good. Cool. All right, let's continue on with the show. Where are we at? Let's go over here. And we got through this one. Next up on the docket, we have the U.S. Department of Commerce will release the September's personal consumption expenditure. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's take a look at that. The Fed's preferred inflation measure. The report measures the change in prices of goods and services, excluding food and energy. Let's go here. And there we go. So the Department of Commerce's personal consumption expenditure, PCE price index, is a way to measure how much prices are going up or down for things people buy like food, clothes, and gas. Think of it as a price thermometer for the economy that tells us if things are getting more expensive over time, which we call inflation. Inflation is a big word nowadays. It is a big word nowadays, all right? Here's how it works. Tracking spending on goods and services. The Department of Commerce collects data on the prices of hundreds of items that people commonly buy, including both goods, things like groceries and clothes, and services like haircuts and doctor's visits. They look at how much people are actually spending on these things. Watching the price changes every month, they see if the prices of these items are going up or down or staying the same. If prices are rising, that means that the cost of living is getting more expensive, which can make it harder for people to buy the things that they need. If prices are dropping, things are getting a bit cheaper. Core PCE, sometimes they look at a special version called the Core PCE that leaves out the price of food and gas. Why? Because food and gas prices can jump up and down a lot, making it harder to see the general trend. The Core PCE gives us a steadier look at prices changes over for other items, right? But I think food and gas are the most important thing. So I would rather have I have a third one where it just gives me the food and gas prices over time so that I can see how my real prices are actually going, right? So quick example for a hairstylist. So for a hairstylist, the PCE price index can be important because it gives clues about people's spending habits. If the index shows that prices are going up a lot, meaning inflation is high, it could affect a hairstylist's business in a few ways. Fewer appointments. When prices are rising, people people may spend more on essentials like groceries or rent, and they might cut back on non-essential expenses like salon visits. I don't know about that. That might be stretching it, right? Because I think the hair salons will always be full. If a hairstylist knows this is happening, they could offer special discounts or package deals to encourage clients to keep coming in, even if money is tight. Higher product costs. If prices for supplies like shampoo, hair dyes, and styling products are also rising, the stylist might need to increase prices slightly to cover these extra costs. The PCE can help them predict when prices might continue to go up so they can plan and communicate changes with clients. Adjusting services to meet demand. If clients are looking to save money, a stylist might start offering more budget-friendly options like quick trims or basic styles instead of full coloring treatments. This allows clients to get some services even if they can't afford more expensive ones. So the PCE helps stylists make smart choices about pricing, promotions, and services to adapt their clients' needs when prices are rising and money might be tight. All right, so that is that. Let's jump over to it to see what it has to say. So changes from month 1 year ago. September 2024 is at 2.1%. August 2024 is at 2.3%. July 2024 is at 2.5%. All right, so current release, let's see what they have to say. Personal income increased 71.6 billion, 0.3% at a monthly rate in September, according to estimates released today by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Disposable personal income, DPI, personal income less personal current taxes increased 57.4%, 0.3% increase. And personal consumption expenditures increased 105.8 billion, 0.5%. The PCE price index increased 0.2%. Excluding food and energy, the PCE price index increased 0.3%, so it didn't make that big of a change. Real DPI, disposable personal income, increased 0.1% in September, and real personal consumption expenditure increased 0.4%. Goods increased 0.7%, and services increased 0.2%. So the disposable personal income increased 0.1%, but the personal consumption expenditure increased 0.4%. So personal consumption expenditure went up higher than disposable personal income, as well as the personal income as well. So interesting. Let's see. Anything else in here that is like important to look at? What is this cord? Okay. Let's see. The increase in dollar personal income in September primarily reflected increases in compensation and personal current transfer receipts that were partly offset by decreases in personal interest income and proprietors income. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is it for that. There's not much in here to actually look at. I think we reviewed the core stuff already. Let's jump into the chat real quick to see what is going on. Said it was worse because she got flown out to a homecoming game. Keep up, chump. Mitch, I can't read your mind. You know what, Mitch? Here's for you. All right, that's all you get. That is all that you get right now, okay? Says, I went to FSU. I'm from Boston. Of course, I like football. I mean, does being from Boston mean you automatically like football? Because I could say there's the Boston Red Sox, so you could, of course, like baseball. There's the Boston Celtics. You could, of course, like basketball. I don't know. Let's see. We're gonna skip over that one. Says Mitch says, well, Patriots trash if you like them. And the Celtics as well. Didn't the Celtics win the championship last year? Didn't they win the championship last year? Or was it the year before? I don't know, but Let's see. Never say never. Let's see. Celtics won the championship. Not trash. That's what I thought. I thought they won the championship. Be careful. And Mitch says trash, 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 trash. They don't even put JSU on anymore since Dion left. That is true. That is true. I was skipping over what your car said. New England's Patriot is the culture if you grew up there. Gotcha. Okay, I guess maybe you grew up in the Tom Brady era. But yeah. Let's see. All right. Let's continue on with the show. The U.S. Department of Commerce will release, so we just did that one, okay? Now we have the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is the one I really wanted to get to. If we don't get to this one, that's okay. But this one, let's get to this one, right? Because this is the grand finale, all right? So let's go to jobs. Monthly job report. So what is the monthly jobs report released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics? That is not the right link for that. I'll get that. I'll fix that. So the monthly jobs report is like a big snapshot that shows how many people in the country have jobs, how many are looking for jobs, and how much money people are making. So how many jobs are added or lost. It's like counting how many new job opportunities are created. Like if new stores open and need workers, how many jobs disappeared if some business closed down. The unemployment rate. This tells us how many people are looking for jobs but can't find one. It's like a percentage that shows how many adults are not working but are still trying to get a job, and how much people are getting paid. This shows whether the amount of money people are earning is going up or staying the same. This is called average hourly earnings. So why is this important? This report is important because it gives us a sense of how the economy is doing, and it helps everyone from the government to business owners to everyday people make decisions. Here's why. If lots of jobs are being added, it means companies are hiring more workers because they are growing. This is usually a sign that the economy is doing well and people are likely to spend more money. If fewer jobs are being added or jobs are lost, it could be a warning that the economy is slowing down, meaning businesses might be cutting costs and not hiring new workers. The unemployment rate helps the government know how many people are struggling to find work so they can think about ways to help. There's an emergency, the government is coming. That's to help you. That's to help you on, right? Creating more jobs. If people's wages are up, it means business might be competing to hire workers, so they have to offer better pay. If wages aren't increasing, people might feel like they have less money. Quick example for logistics, supply chain. Imagine you run a delivery company that ships products for an online store. The monthly jobs report is like a shipping dashboard that tells you how the logistics industry is doing. If the report shows a lot of new jobs in warehousing and trucking, you might expect higher demand for deliveries, so you could hire more drivers and prepare for a busy season. But if the report shows a lot of jobs, it might mean fewer packages need to be delivered, and you might decide to delay hiring or even reduce staff. The unemployment rate can also give you insight. If it's higher, it might be easier for you to find new drivers, but if it might also be a signal of tough economic times where business and consumers are spending less money. All right. So let me find this one. I guess I can get it from Bloomberg. Just got to do some cleanup on that. Let me go to clear all these. United States. Employment. That should take us there. And in Niger, there we go. Non-farm payroll jobs. Unemployment rate is unemployment rate 4.1%. Let's go to this report. So the unemployment situation, right? Brace for this. Non-farm payroll employment was essentially unchanged in October. It added 12,000 new jobs. 12,000 new jobs. All right, so unemployment was unchanged. Got that. Let's see. Employment continued to trend up in healthcare and government. All right. Temporary health services lost jobs. Employment declined in manufacturing due to strike activity, allegedly. All right. This news release presents statistics from 2 monthly surveys. The household survey measures labor force status, including unemployment, by demographic characteristics. The establishment survey measures non-farm employment hours and earnings by industry for the information about. All right, cool. So we see the unemployment rate. The number of unemployed people was little changed at 7 million because they definitely didn't get hired in October. The measures are higher than a year earlier when the jobless rate was at 3.8%. So last year we were at 3.8%, and we went up to 4.1%. We were at 4.2% at one point. Among the major worker groups, the unemployment rate for adult men, 3.9%, adult women, 3.6%, so more women are working than men. Teenagers, 13.8%, and I think that teenagers should, I think it's unfortunate that the teenager working rate is 13.8%. Unemployment rate because there were, like, back in the days, there were so many different jobs, McDonald's, Wendy's, like doing the grocery stores and stuff like that taught kids discipline, being there on time, being clean, and all that type of stuff. But now all those jobs, they don't have those jobs anymore. Whites, 3.8%, blacks, 5.7%, Asians, 3.9%, Hispanics, 5.1%. Showed little or no change over the month, right? Among the unemployed, the number of permanent job losers edged up to 1.8% or 1.8 million in October. The number of people on temporary layoff changed little at 846,000. The number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, was little changed at 1.6 million. This measure is up from 1.3 million a year earlier. In October, the long-term unemployment accounted for 22.9% of all unemployed people. Dang, that's like 22% of all employed people have been unemployed for over a year. Jesus, that's a lot. Both the labor force participation rate at 62.6% and the unemployment population ratio at 60% changed little in October. The number of people employed part-time, yada, yada, yada. All right, let's see. So here, total non-farm payroll employment was essentially unchanged in October, 12,000. Like, so 12,000 new jobs. That is, geez. Following an average monthly gain of 194,000 over the prior 12 months. In October, employment continued to trend up in healthcare and government. We read that part. Healthcare added 52,000 jobs, in line with average monthly gains of 58,000 over the prior 12 months. All right. Employment in government continued to trend upward, 40,000 in October, similar to average monthly gains of 43,000. So the government is keep hiring more people. Within professional business employment declined 49,000. Temporary help services also decreased 577,000 since reaching a peak in March 2022. Let me see. A little bit in construction. In October, average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls rose 13 cents. 13 cents. Or 0.4% to 35.46 over the past 12 months. Average hourly earnings have increased by 4%. In October, average hourly earnings of private sector production and non-supervising employees rose 12% or 12 cents or 0.4% to 30.48. The average work week for all employees on private non-farm payrolls remained 34.3 hours in October. In manufacturing, the average work week was little change at 39.9%, and overtime edged down by 0.1% or 0.1 hours to 2.8 hours. The average work week for production and non-supervisory employees on private non-farm payrolls edged down 0.1 hour to 33.7 hours. And then there's some stuff about Hurricane Milton and stuff like that, saying that it could be due to the hurricane, all that good stuff, right? Anyways, that is that. We're going to leave out the Institute for Supply Management purchasing manager. Maybe we'll roll that over to next week. We'll see. We'll see about that one. All right. But let's check the chat and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna check the chat and then we're gonna get out of here. Let me see. Mitch says that's only for those people, not you. That shouldn't be your culture. I might have missed what Mitch was referring to. It says there are jobs that do hiring. There are jobs that do hiring already, knowing they will eliminate the position in 6 months to a year. But if they're going to do that, aren't they just going to bring on a contractor? Like, they're not going to go through a whole full hiring and then giving them benefits for 6 months and all that stuff, right? Wouldn't it just be like you get a contractor to work for 6 months and then you end the contract after that? When does the game start? Yeah, Car says Bible study at 12 East Coast time. Shout out to your car and his Bible study. Let's see. But yeah, that's about it for today. But here's the closing thought, right? Here's the closing thought. Are people going to remember the 12,000 jobs that were added? And actually, let me show you this real quick, right? On Bloomberg, the forecast of how many jobs are going to be added was 106,000. Last month was 223,000. However, it was revised down for September and for August. And remember, before that, there was 818,000 jobs that vanished. And then they forecasted 106,000. We only hit 12,000, right? And then watch in December, they'll probably revise this to be negative. My guess for October, right? So the question is, how are people going to see this, right? Is top of mind election and people who want to be in endless wars all the time, making money off endless wars? Or are they going to be thinking about jobs, grocery prices, food prices, childcare prices, gas prices? If they're going to be closing down their Pepsi plant or closing down their auto manufacturing plant. That is, I'm just wondering what is going to be top of mind for people. We shall find out. As we wrap it up, let's check the chat and then we will be done for today. Let's go back to full screen. Let's see what we got here. Alexa says the game is at 2 p.m. Where are you going to be sitting? Are you going to be sitting like up top or like on the front row? Because if you're going to be sitting in like front row, then we're going to tune into the game. Try to see if we can catch you at the game, if it's even on TV. Let's see. I felt like I walked the mile to get to my Uber from the airport. Yeah, I heard that's a huge airport. You know what have you ever been to the Denver airport? And Chicago airport is huge too, but Denver airport is huge. Like when I was flying from Nebraska, the layover was in Denver, and you have to like take a train to a different part of the concourse. I had no idea where I was. Honestly, I had no idea where I was in that airport.
It says wrap it up.
All right. It's time to go. We got it. You don't have to be mean about it. It says you gotta take that Airbus train thing just to get to your bags. Yep. That's how I was in Denver too. I didn't go out of the. I think when I was in Chicago's airport, I was only in the United Airlines terminal, and that thing is huge. That thing is huge. Let's see. So Alexis, you should have invited your brothers. Better be careful out there. I can't see the culture comment. I couldn't see it either, so I had no idea what he's talking about. Everything costs too much. If billionaires complaining, you know that it's serious. Tell me about it. She's sitting up top with the person that flew her out. We won't see her. Wow. Why you gotta be so rude, Mitch? Why you gotta be so rude? There will be no Alexis slander today, okay? Your question is, are you going to do the match review with your homie on the probably. I'm gonna confirm today and then I'll schedule it for tomorrow night. Probably a couple of hours after our show in the afternoon. But yeah, probably most likely. Even if they don't show up, I can always do it myself as well, but I'm sure one of them will be able to show up. He didn't even mention he's definitely not doing it. I actually forgot about. I thought about it this morning, but I forgot about mentioning it. But I'm probably gonna do it. There's nothing stopping me from doing it, so I can always do it by myself as well. It says yes, Denver is huge, but I'm used to DFW and LAX, so it's all the same at this point. ATL is huge. Why am I going to the big airports where the small ones at? See, you got to fly that private jet in. You don't have to wait. You don't have to sit next to people. All that good stuff, right? She says she can. She said she can see it. Get your glasses. So disrespectful, right? So disrespectful. I know, Alexis. No home training. Says, should I be Mitch or not tomorrow? If someone, be yourself, Mitch. Be yourself, right? We don't want no one else but Mitch. We don't want anyone else but Mitch. All right, you know how it goes. Anyways, no home training. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a wonderful. Your mom probably agrees with me, Mitch. Your mom probably agrees with me on more things than not. She's like, my crazy Mitch. He's just off on that. I wish that he would listen to Tech Coach Ralph. I mean, if he's not gonna listen, why are they even best friends? Or why are they even best friends? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, seriously, like I did the best I could. I don't know what happened to him. He went off to school and then he came back a different person. That's probably what she's gonna say. All right. Anyways, let's get out of here. And Mitch, make sure you play for her this as well. All right.
Yo, my boy Mitch, we don't always see eye to eye, but in the ring of life, he's my ride or die. Throwing shade with his threats, catch his hands and shouts. But trust me, it's love he's packing, not just about. We banter like kings, no one's backing down. Throwing punches, but it's all from the heart. In this crazy world, we're always a team. Best friends forever, with a shared dream. Mitch and me, man, we're living the theme. We chop up the data, make those numbers dance. Talking tech battles, man, we take our stance. Chicago PD, yeah, with a squad on the lane. Fighting like Ricky and Cal, bringing glory and pain. But win or lose, we're never apart. Throwing punches, but it's all from the heart. In this crazy world, we're always a team. Best friends forever, with a shared dream. Mitch and me, man, we're living the theme. So here's to us, a bond that won't fade. In the ring of the streets, we've got it made.
That is our show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Lumpy the Peacock. Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to your car. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to me, myself. Shout out to Darcel out there. We are headed out for the day. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Saturday and a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend.
Gotta wake up, shake off the doubt. Been climbing through the struggle, feel the heat, no way out. They said I couldn't make it, said I'd fall behind. But I rise with each challenge, ain't got time to unwind. No chains can hold me. I'm breaking free. Nobody can stand in my way, gonna win. Pushing through the setbacks, feel that fire within. No family, no friends, it's just me on this ride. I'm destined for greatness, I'll take it in stride. Drive, no limits, no end, man, I'm feeling so alive. With the pressure and pain, I'll emerge from the dust. When I rest against the wall, I will never lose trust.
They can't stop the vision. It's crystal.
Nobody can stand in my way, gonna win. And pushing through the setbacks, feel that fire within. No family, no friends, it's just me on this ride. I'm destined for greatness, I'll take it in stride. So watch me rise up. Conquer the day. The eyes on the prize. Now I'm alive.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.